Hello! Welcome to my channel. I'm Amanda and today we are here with our 2019 favourites. All the art supplies I love this year, and actually it's a smaller list than it usually is, even though it does not look like it. So let's clear this up and talk about the things on a deeper level. Okay, why don't we just start the things that are creeping in here? And since they're not really a huge art supply, I'm going to say that I love binder clips. These have been the holy grail of making art for me this year, especially in sketchbooks. You can just clip them on either side of your sketchbook and make sure that the page stays flat, and then it dries flat as well if you keep them on until it dries. These are just amazing and you need to get them, and they're really cheap. You can get them from any like stationery store, Amazon or craft store. Awesome. After that, we're going to go in sort of like categories. I think I'm going to do paper first. Paper and sketchbooks, because that's what I've got the most of, I think. So let's get started, shall we? First of all, I feel guilty about telling you about these, but I think you can get them in most stores anyway. It's just really cheap paper with cute covers on them, and obviously the covers are disgusting. This particular brand is iDoodle. They come in a pack of 3. You can get them in Hobbycraft. I think you can get them in Michael's as well. Just any paper that feels like sort of cartridgey, like really thin. Well, not really thin, a bit thin. Love these. These are really good for just sketching and not caring if they're going to turn out good or whatever. Love, love, love these. You can get them for really cheap. Amazing. I'm going to talk about these two together because they are quite similar in the way that they perform. These are watercolor sketchbooks. This one is the Travel Co. Handbook. Travel Log Handbook. Global Art Materials. And it's a sketchbook. I think it's 280 GSM paper or whatever, but this one's pretty much the same, but this is the Hanamula one. I covered it. It looks completely different. This is more like the texture of the actual paper, the actual cover, but yeah, they work exactly the same. The paper is very, very similar. I think I would probably say that this one is more textured. We'll see. No, actually, I stand corrected. This one is actually more textured than that one. And I feel like I did prefer working in this one a little bit more, but I think it was because I was doing like actual, if I can find a good example, that would be good. Where's a good example? None. I was doing actual paintings in this one, whereas I just did a couple of actual paintings and just did quick sketches in this one for the rest of that. But these two are really good watercolour sketchbooks, and they are around the same price. I think they're about £13 in the UK. Don't know how much they are on Amazon. But yeah, these are really good, and I really recommend them if you like watercolour, gouache, or even acrylic. You can stick that in there. Wouldn't recommend them for markers though, but we'll get to one that I do recommend for markers in a minute. This is another one of a really good sketchbook that I recommend, and they're cheap for the price because you get 2. And they're 100 pages each. I have been taking ages to fill up this one, and that's one thing that I don't like about it, but the paper is really good and I really like it. It's the Arteza acid-free heavyweight paper premium sketchbook, 100 pages, and it's £118, 175 GSM, and it's also 8.3 inches by 11.7. So it's a big hefty sketchbook, but you can get a lot of drawings in here and I really enjoy it. I'm only this way through, but we're getting there. Next one is if you like markers specifically. Can never say that word, but if you enjoy using markers, then this one is definitely for you. It's the Winsor & Newton heavyweight YRO sketchbook, and it's A4 size, so that is, in other words, 8 1/4 by 3 3/4, no, 11 3/4 inches, and it has 50 sheets. It's 170 GSM, £80 heavyweight paper for pen, ink, pencil and watercolour. Do not use watercolour in this, it's rubbish, and it's not really good for sketching per se, but if you want to just do quick sketches and do the most of your work with the actual marker itself, I do recommend this. It takes marker really, really well. Just the colours, these are pastel sketches, so they're not that vibrant because they're not supposed to be, but the colour is really vibrant and it's really nice and smooth, and it just takes it really well. It layers really good. I would highly recommend this sketchbook for markers. Coloured pencil works on it okay too. But I would say if you were to use this sketchbook for anything, it would be markers in particular. This is the last sketchbook that I'm going to talk about before we move on to something else, but this is the De La Rune Graduate Sketchbook A4, and it's got 46 sheets in it, or pages, whatever. 46 sheets, I would say, 92 pages, and then it's 8.3 by 11.9 inches, and it's just cartridge paper. It's really, it doesn't even tell you the weight of this, but it's really thin. But these are another great kind of sketchbook to just sketch in and not care if you're actually making any good art and just practicing in. Next, since we are, or I was, mostly a watercolour artist, we're going to talk about the watercolour papers that I prefer. So the first one is this, which is the Winsor & Newton. It's not my favourite, but I really like it because it's cheap and it's still really high quality. It's still 300 GSM and it's A4. This is the reason why I like it, because when I do an A4 piece, watercolour piece, I can easily scan it in my A4 scanner. I don't have anything bigger than that, so it's kind of that way. It does resist. In fact, I've did a full review of this, so if you want to go and check that out, you should, because then you will know exactly if you like it or not, and you can watch me actually paint on it. But yeah, I do recommend it for beginners watercolorists, I would say. This is the next one, and I really love this paper as well. It's 350 GSM, and I think it's even cheaper, don't quote me on that, than the Winsor & Newton version. This is the seawhite.co.uk, Seawhite of Brighton watercolour paper, and it's really good. I actually started printing on this paper instead of watercolouring on it because it's so thick, and the quality of my prints would be increased if I printed it on this, but I could still get the watercolour texture. But yeah, I would highly recommend this for beginners as well if you really like. It's not cotton, and neither is this, I don't think. Not 100% cotton, but I think these are good alternatives if you don't want to pay so much money for what you get. Now, I am really not sure if this is cotton or not, but I found it when I was looking for cotton watercolour papers as an alternative to arches or arcs, or however you say that. Don't correct me, I know I'm saying it wrong, whatever. But this is 300 GSM and it is 12 by 9, and the only reason I do not like this paper is because it's 12 by 9. I don't have any left, as you can see. I used it all up. I did a lot of watercolour paintings on this and I really enjoy it. It's the Buckingford St Cuthbert's Mill watercolour paper. You get 12 sheets, so it's not really that much. It is quite expensive. I wouldn't recommend it if you're just playing around, but it's a good paper. And then it's on par with the arches, although I do know that this is 100% cotton because it tells you. But yeah, I've used all of this up as well. I wasn't keen on it to start with, but it's actually a really nice paper. It does dull the colours down a lot, but that's just because it's 100% cotton and it's really absorbent, and it's really good. You get 12 sheets in this as well. It's 9.5 by 12 inches, sorry, no, 9 by 12 inches, and it's 100% cotton, 300 GSM, and it's cold press, and it's amazing, but it is really expensive again. So if you want to make quality artworks and pay for the price, the ridiculous price of arches, then I do recommend it. Now let's get on to the art supplies. We're going to start with pens and pencils. The first two things that I want to show you to do with pens and pencils are these. I have loads of pencils in my sketchbook, in my pencil case, and I do like them, some of them, especially this one I just received in a box. It's really nice, but you can't go wrong with mechanical pencils. This is a size 9, 0.9, and it is the Graph Gear 1000 Pentel. It has a retractable, can't even see what I'm doing, retractable thing, so you can retract it and it protects the nib so it doesn't break, because it is really fragile. It has a clip that's where you retract it. It also has a built-in rubber, which is nice. Oh, I was wondering, you know, I was like, I raised this rubber so that I could use it again because it got right down to the bottom, and then the next time I tried to go and use it, it was back down to the bottom again, but it was because I was using this one. Anyway, yeah, refillable obviously, and it tells you what kind of lead is in it if you set it to the right thing. You can twist it, I believe. Yeah, there we go. You can twist it and then it tells you what kind of lead is in it, and this is actually a B, so there we go. Love this pencil, love it. And then obviously this is a size 0.7 and this one feels a lot lighter than this one. Yeah, this one's heavier, but both of them are really good and I'm really happy that I purchased these. These will be long-term like usage. I will never ever get rid of these unless they really break, but I doubt it because I've had these for years and I break things a lot. If you ask any of my family and friends, you'll know that I am the one that breaks things. I ruin things, I break them, I don't take care of things, and I'm rubbish. But these, I have had them for a long time. As for pens, I am not much of a pen gal, but I have used a fair few in my past, including Copic eyeliner and microns, and I wouldn't recommend those to anybody. I think that the people on the internet that are telling people that microns are really good are liars, so do not listen to them. And that is coming from experience of using real genuine microns that just suck. The nibs bend and break easily, especially if you've got a heavy hand. But I use the same pressure with these and I have not had a problem. They don't run out as fast. The nibs don't break. They're amazing. These are the Unipin fine liners. They are waterproof and fade resistant, and they are pigment ink, I think. You can get them in a variety of sizes, just like the microns. I've got the one in 0.1, 0.2, 0.3, 5, 8, and I have a brush, and I also have a couple in a different sizes of the sepia version and the light grey version as well. So they are really good. I love them. You can get them in a brush as well. I have the brush. Did I say brush? You can get it in a brush. They're awesome. They are amazing. Love them. The brush is really nice too. It's a kind of like felt brush, so it's better to control, and the ink is really nice and archival. Love it. Next up, if I am doing drawings and I just want to quickly add a little bit of highlight, this is my new fave. I only got this a couple of weeks ago, but I've been using it non-stop since. It's the Derwent paint pen, 0.5 white. It may splutter on you. I'm not sure if it will disperse the ink, explode on you. It hasn't happened to me. I've heard other people saying how it's happened to them, but I don't think it's happened to me. Well, I know for a fact it hasn't happened to me. And the nib is really fine and it's just awesome. The white is really opaque. The opacest white pen I've ever seen in my life. Moving swiftly onwards to these. These are my favourite markers ever. I have used Copics, I've used Spectrum Noir, I've used all of those, and they are really good if you like juicy markers and if you buy them and refill them and take care of them. But these ones are dry. They come dry. They're not like dry so that you can't use them. But I did show you in that marker illustration sketchbook earlier. Those were made with these. They are juicy enough to make an illustration, but they're not so juicy where you can't control them. Unfortunately, these ones are bullet nib and chisel nib, but I'm pretty sure that the brush nib would probably be the same quality. Really love these. Do not think I would ever go anywhere else for markers. I'm not a marker person, but I get along with these much better, and I like this set. It's the pastels set and I really enjoy the colours that come with it. I think there was 6, or was there just 5? I don't know, but I've only got 5 here. But they're really good. Shall we move on to paint then? I'm going to start with my least favourite purely because I just got them and I don't have enough experience with them, but I'm going to talk about the Arteza Gouache, and I got the 60 colour set. The reason I did was because it was on a sale. There's a video somewhere of me using these for the first time, but these are awesome. I highly recommend them for beginners, for somebody that just wants to play around with the colours, see what colours they like, see if they actually like gouache. And it's not to the point where they're so cheap that you will not like them because they're so cheap. And it's not to the point where you will love them because they are really high quality and they're amazing, because they're kind of in the middle and they're really affordable as well, especially if you get them for a Black Friday deal for half price. But these are awesome and I highly recommend them if you want to play around with colour. Use different colour combinations and limited colour palettes. I know that it sounds weird when you say limited colour palettes when you're looking at a set of 60, but they have them all set out in colours that go together already, and obviously you can mix and match them too. So I would say just grab a tray, see if you can make an illustration out of them and keep going down the list, and then make your own and just figure out what colours you like the best. Sticking with the gouache theme, I have these Winsor & Newton designer gouache, and the reason I don't like these is because I have weird colours and I don't know which ones to mix together to get good colours. If I knew how to mix these colours together to get really good colours, I would love these. The quality is great. They smell a little bit like a tattoo parlour, but other than that, they're awesome. And I have a box of them here, well, a tub of them here that I really want to get into trying to mix with, but I just thought I would get the 60 colour of gouache set first so that I can really see what colours I like and see if I can try and replicate those colours using these ones. Next up, we are going to talk about Liquitex and Winsor & Newton acrylic paint. I only have a few of these because these are expensive and I want to use up these entirely before I decide to get new colours or replace them, obviously. But I was cheeky and I got these two. Kind of wish I never, because they're a different brand, but they're cheaper and they're still really good. So the colours that I do have are titanium white. I've got two of those, and I also have this yellow, which is cadmium free yellow medium. I think you should replace this with a Naples yellow though, that would be better, and the whites. I also have Payne's Grey, Burnt Sienna, Alizarin Crimson, and Ultramarine Blue Red shade. These two go really nice together, and they all go really nice together, but this is a more of a cooler red, so if you want a warmer red you need to buy it. But anyway, I recently got into acrylic this year and I have been loving it, and I decided, I have used craft acrylic paint before and I have used some other brand, Daler & Rooney, I think, Graduate, whatever the Graduate brand is. I've used those as well, but I didn't use them for like proper paintings or whatever. I used them in my colour books, I've used them on like craft projects, like actual boxes and stuff. I've never actually used them in a painting, but I decided if I want to know if I really like acrylic painting, I would just go out and buy them, and if I didn't like them then I would either sell them if the tubes were sellable, or give them as a gift, as a hand down gift. But it turns out that I actually really love these and I want to keep using them, so I highly recommend these if you know that you like acrylic. If you don't know that you like acrylic, I don't really want to say go out and buy these because they are expensive, but they are good paints and they will make you love acrylic because of just the way that they work together and the way that they lay down on the paper or canvas and the way that they mix and just the texture and the smoothness and all of that stuff, the opacity, the transparency for the transparent ones. They're just awesome. Yeah, I love them. Continuing on to paint before we get into my miscellaneous category, I'm going to talk quickly about my watercolours. I haven't been using these a lot this month, and I don't think that I want to say they're necessarily my favourites, but I do want to give them an honourable mention, oh my god, I can't say that word, mention, because these have seen me through my darkest days, my brightest days, my happiest days. They have made me fall in love with paint again, basically. So these are the reason that I do like acrylic and gouache and all of that now, because these have led me to really appreciate and love painting again. These aren't the best quality watercolours. They're actually Winsor & Newton and a mix of Winsor & Newton professional line and Maya Mera Blue. I think that's how you say them, but they're awesome and they have, like I said, they've had so much love. I haven't used them in a while just because I've been exploring different things and different mediums and different ways to draw and make art, but these will always be my babies, and I'm quite happy that I haven't been using them as much as I used to, because I used to have to replace these tubes quite a lot, but now I haven't replaced them all year. So they really will last you for years if you don't use them. But yeah, I don't have anything particular to say about the colours or whatever. I do really would love to try like Daniel Smith, or yeah, just Daniel Smith. That is like my dream as a watercolor artist, is to try those, but maybe someday. The last thing I want to say that I have been loving this month is, this year is, I've only used this once, but it deserves it. It's Super Sculpey Original, and it's an oven baked polymer clay, and I recently got into this year. I've only did one sculpture, but I do plan on using this more. I'm just waiting to get the other items that I need, like for charms and stuff, but I really do want to create a collection or a line of charms that are made by me, and I want to keep on practicing and learning this behind the scenes, not doing too many videos of it, but just making things for myself and my family, and I'm really excited about that. So I am so happy to mention this. This has been a really great art supply, and I do believe it's an art supply, so yeah. As for the only rubber that I'm going to mention, even though I have found that the ones that leave virtually literally no eraser dust are really good. There's one that I have in my pencil case that I do not know what brand it is, but it's perfect. Anyway, this is I've got into these. Remember, if you've been following me for a while, you'll know that I hated these before. I couldn't get them to work, they were rubbish, and the reason for that was because I got the Derwent one. The cheap Derwent one. I'm pretty sure there's probably a Derwent one out there that's really good and people will like them, so don't hound me, but this one is so easy to, it's so easy to mold and shape, and it doesn't break off as easy. Like before, if I was using my older one, it would rip like that, but instantly, whereas this one really does stretch and blend and stuff. And these are really great for just lifting graphite but not taking it all off, just so that you can protect your paper and put watercolor or any type of medium on top of the pencil without getting it all muddled up and stuff. And that is it. That's all my favourite art supplies. So I hope that you found something that you might want to try in the new year. Tell me what your favourite art supplies were in 2019, and I will see you in my next video if you click one of these playlists. Bye guys.